to the office every day. So
The PBA is back in a big way at the Davsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. And for our main event, it will be the Meralco Bulls going up against the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. Welcome to PBA Rush. I'm Carlo Pamintuan with Dominic Uy, and two of the leaders so far in our team standings will be going at it. Expect a defensive matchup, but expect an intense matchup between these two teams.
for sure, you look at these two teams, two of the best defensive teams right now in the league. Two teams with coaches that really pride themselves with defense. Obviously, the Magnolia Hotshots, a team that's wanting to win a championship as well, an all-Filipino crown. Pati naman itong Meralco Bulls also looking for their first ever crown. So that's something that they want to do in this setup.
Our team standings right now, the TNT Tropang Giga with their victory against the Blackwater Bossing equal the tally of the Magnolia Hotshots, both with undefeated 4-0 records. Meralco right behind them at 4-1. So, itong mga games, Dom, between teams that are near each other in the standings, draw double weight, because not only do you pick up a win, it also gives you a bit of an advantage in terms of quotient. Should you be tied with them at the end of the elimination round.
Very important. If ever you're going to lose, is you got to lose by the least amount of points. And that's what these two teams, obviously, they don't want to lose to begin with. And this is the last game of the Meralco Bulls against the Alaska Aces. A 9-point victory. Look at that, 8 blocks for a team like Meralco that's not necessarily all that tall. They get 8 blocks, a great defensive effort, 14 fast break points as well for the Meralco Bulls. And look at the rebounds, 56 rebounds. That's just a great team effort. Again, like I mentioned, when you look at the Bulls, it's not like they have twin towers, but they are doing it as a team. That's what you love about the Bulls right
And
now.
defense is indeed their identity. Raymond Almazan, their best big man, of course, anchoring the defense in the shaded area. But it's everything else that's going on around him. It just leads to this culture of defense first, that mentality for the Meralco Bulls.
Well, Meralco is a team that is coached by Coach Norman Black, who's always harped and he's preached about defense winning championships. He's won his championships, he's won the Grand Slam as well. And this is something, the formula that is tested and proven for him. Wants to bring it to Meralco, wants to be able to bring that first championship for the Bulls.
Meanwhile, the last game for the Magnolia Hotshots, it was an easy victory for them against the Terra Firma Jeep. They lost control of the ball game in the second quarter, but then when they really took things seriously in the third, they ran away with a victory. Look at the bench points, 56-20 against the Jeep.
What I love about the stats right now is the 25 assists for the Magnolia Hotshots, because you have 25 assists with 105 points. That means you're sharing that basketball. Always the issue or the question will always be chemistry. If you move that basketball, we've seen it with Coach Tim Cone and Barangay Ginebra and the other teams. As long as you share that basketball, the more amount or bigger chances that you will win ball games and you will win a championship. If that's a good indication for the Hotshots, definitely a positive for them.
For the Meralco Bulls, a 5'10" guard from Davao City, number 10, Sean Pinto. A 6'2" guard from Pinig, Ilocos Norte, number 11, Chris Newsom. A 6'2" forward from Quezon City, number 19, Bong Quinto. A 6'4" forward from Midsayap, North Cotabato, number 12, Mac Bello. And a 6'8" center from Orion, Bataan, number 20, Raymond Almazan. Head coach for Meralco is Norman Black. And now the starters for Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. A 5'10" guard from Zamboanga City, number 14, Mark Baroca. A 6'1" guard from Tondo, Manila, number 3, Paul Lee. A 6'3" forward from Balibago, Pampanga, number 13, Calvin Abueva. A 6'3" forward from Olongapo City, number 19, Rome De La Rosa. And a 6'8" center from Lupao, Pampanga, number 10, Ian Sangala. Head coach for Magnolia is Chito Victorero. Our referees for this game, Ray Yante, Romel Gruta, Mau Riose, and Kenny Halley.
Your starters for the Meralco Bolts and the Magnolia Hotshots: Pinto, Newsom, Almazan, Belo, and Quinto; Barroca, Lee, Sangalang, De La Rosa, and Abueva on the other side for the Magnolia Hotshots. As we are just about ready to get things going in this ball game. This tip-off is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We welcome you to the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021, the restart as we continue the competitions in Pampanga.
Well, everybody excited for this restart. The players, the teams, the fans, loving that the PBA is back. You know, we hope for the best. We will be practicing strict protocols for the teams. And this is something that the PBA and the players and the fans want everybody to succeed.
Dom, we talked about defense, and immediately you saw the defensive tenacity coming from Magnolia, almost a shot clock violation against the ball.
Defense obviously is something that, you know, we know that these teams maybe practice about a week, a little bit over a week. So the conditioning is something that they will have to work through. I mean, being in game shape, because they did not have any practices all throughout that lockdown. That's close to a month.
Dito lang talaga nakabalik yung teams when they finally reach the semi-bubble. Of course, may mga nagtatanong doon, what's the difference between the bubble and the semi-bubble? Well, not everyone is required to stay in one hotel. That's the biggest difference.
Yes.
Everyone can stay wherever they wanted to stay within the vicinity of Pampanga, but still, the protocols are there. It's limited movement for everyone who is involved in the games.
Basically, just hotel and venue for everybody that is, like you said, doing the games or is part of the PBA, really to be able to limit the movement and limit the exposure of the players and the participants.
Take Jason Castro, for example. His house, his literal house, is closer to the gym than Quest Hotel. But he can go home.
But he cannot. So the last time everybody was at Quest Hotel, you know, staying there, all the teams. So that was not a semi-bubble. That was really the bubble for the PBA. This time, certain teams are staying at Quest, certain teams are staying in other places, just to be able to, you know, be able to get through this. And we gotta applaud the players, because, you know, from all the reports, all we've gathered, the players played a major part in being able to pursue and continue this conference.
Of course, their efforts were much appreciated by PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall, our Board of Governors. Siyempre, tinulungan din tayo ng government in Pampanga. We have to applaud Governor Delta Pineda for helping out, and Congressman Don Gonzalez as well. And this is the result. Intense basketball action. I mean, it's the restart, but it feels like we just picked things up where we left off at the United Sports Arena.
Especially for Paul Lee. You gotta love how Paul Lee, you know, suffering from an injury actually in that previous game that they had, but because of that little break that we had, he was able to heal his injury, and he's hoping to be 100% right now. So that's something that we'll have to see. You know, Paul Lee is a competitor, and he came into this conference in probably the best shape that he's ever been.
So the Pinatubo duo combining their Calvin Abueva setting up Ian Sangalang for his first 2 points of this ball game.
Calvin Abueva has yet to lose as a Magnolia hotshot.
and just the energy, Dom, that he inserts into this already defensive-minded team.
And it's a team that really, the energy level is something that they really work on. Is something that Coach Chito always requires from his players. And even you look at the other members of the coaching staff, these were guys that worked hard when they were players.
Fly-by move coming from Paul Lee, attracting the defense, saying goodbye to Bonquito, dribbling out of trouble, converting on a 3-point shot, 7-0 start for the Magnolia Hotshots. Pambansang Manokas, this time out from Meralco, is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. suffering an injury against a Terra Firma Jeep in their last game. Paul Lee, is he ready to return? Well, he answered it already though with that 3-point conversion starting in this ball game. Good numbers for Paulie, even though he is not shooting well from the field. He is almost perfect from the stripe, but to see him convert on a 3-point shot should be good for his confidence.
Carlo, his numbers, 16 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 2 assists. 97% from the free throw line. That's 28 of 29 from the free throw line for Paul Lee. You know that he's one of the first guys that comes into practice, shoots a lot, really practices, and wants to develop his craft game in, game out.
Paul Lee committing a personal foul. Fresh 14 on the shot clock for the Meralco Bolts. Hodge versus Abueva. We go to Pinto up top against Barroca. Pinto might have gotten away with a push right there, but Magnolia gets a stop anyway.
I still remember one of the games of Magnolia at the beginning of this conference. You know, Paul Lee was not shooting well, but in the end, who did they go to? Paul Lee. Today, he's shooting well. Back-to-back threes for Paul Lee.
Dream start for the Hotshots, 10-0 against the Meralco Bolts, as the active defense has been a riddle so far for Meralco now to solve.
When you look at the points of Meralco, they are coming off the primary break. That is something that they are pushing that basketball. So the defense of Meralco not able to get back right away. So Magnolia, what they're trying to do is speed things up, get easy baskets, or easier looks.
We thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Dominic Uy. It's a pleasure to be working with you, Dom, again. It's been too long.
It's been too long. It's been too long. I mean, from the last time you've been to Japan already and you've come back.
That's a bump called against Pinto.
And when you look at that play, that's something that if you're Pinto, you look back at it, and if you're Coach Norman Black, you're like, that was unnecessary.
As we take another look at the second 3-point conversion coming from Paul Lee. Oh, nauna yung katawan niya eh. He bumped him off. I mean, how can you...
I mean, you could have waited for the ball to just go out, right?
Paul Lee, aggressive start in this ball game, missing that one. 2 of 5 from the field.
Also for a coach, you want to be able to start Paul Lee and see how good is he. When I say how good, obviously it's not the skill level, but it's the conditioning and you know, the injury. How, you know, if he's 100% or if he's 90%, so that you can gauge now, because we know that the PBA games this time will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
So that's 5 days in 1 week. So more than likely you will get back-to-back games.
You will be playing either 2 or 3 games in that
span of 5 days.
weeks.
Yeah. So it's going to be a mix of how to be able to get into shape, but at the same time not pushing too much as well, that you will be prone to injuries.
And Dom, what we saw in our first 2 games, TNT versus Blackwater, as Ian Sangalang misses this bunny. TNT Blackwater, Terra Firma, San Miguel Beer, the coaches have been more willing to extend their rotation to limit the minutes of their starters.
Especially at the beginning, because you need to be able to get your players, your top players, the guys that, you know, are usually playing 30, 35 minutes. You want them to slowly get into it, because if you maximize them or max them out right away and they get hurt, then that's pretty much it, because you have no time to recover.
Yep. Calvin Abueva from deep doesn't get the bounce as the ball swings back to the side of the Meralco Bolts. Only 2 points on the board. That's a clear foul against Rom de la Rosa.
And if the schedule will continue as planned, we should be done with the eliminations by the 3rd week of September.
And then a foul on Newsome on our referee, Mao Orioste. We were talking about defense, Dom, and limiting your opponent to just 2 points in the first 6 minutes of the ball game is the perfect example of it.
Well, definitely that's something that if you're Magnolia, you're very happy with. But also, if you're now the Meralco Bolts, you like how you're not really trying to run after it. You're not forcing shots just like that. You're actually trying to run the offense and let the game come to you.
Strong start for Magnolia. Mid-range jumper, too casual.
Too easy, right? You look at the 2 3-point shots of Paulie, they were not really necessarily challenged hard. You look at the one of Calvin Abueva right there, that's an easy 2 with no challenge. So that's 8 of the 12 points that were not challenged.
And surely Coach Norman Black is not happy with that development. We were harping about how these two teams and their coaches really proud of their defense. Finally, a 3-point conversion for Reynal Hugnatan.
You know, one of the things that really, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to play defense. So if you're not yet in great shape, then the pacing of the players will really come into play. So expect that the coaches will try to rotate the players quick.
Good drive coming from Rome De La Rosa, seeing the creases in the defense of Meralco. Quick spurt coming from Paulie, and then he's on the bench. You don't want to push him too hard coming back from an injury.
Oh, you like what you saw in the first, 4 or 5 minutes. And then you want him to rest, you want him to stretch out, you want him to, you know, that's really the tough part. And sometimes coaches will ask the players, are you okay? How do you feel? And majority of the time, the players will say, I'm okay.
But like boxers, you have to protect them from themselves sometimes.
Exactly.
And one opportunity for Reynal Hugnatan heating up at this stage of the first quarter.
That's why it's also very important, the trainers and the PTs of the teams, because the coaches have to have a good relationship with them to be able to gauge the injuries as well. They will rely on that feedback. And a guy like Reynal Hugnatan, who works out like crazy, in great shape, largely because of the supervision of their strength and conditioning coach.
Sila yung mga unheralded heroes.
Yes.
Mga tunay na MVP of all the teams.
And they're the ones that are closest to the players.
Yep.
Because once the performance of the players go up, you know who to thank.
Good ball movement coming from the Magnolia Hotshots, but they come up empty. Halalondo picks up the rebound, could not convert. So many opportunities. Aris Dionisio scoring finally for the Magnolia Hotshots.
You look at that, too many offensive rebounds given up by the Bolts. But you know, you look at the score, you're only down 6 points. Nothing to worry about if you're Meralco.
4 minutes remaining in our opening quarter. We're glad you're joining us on PBA Rush. Aaron Black from the outside misses. Rebound for Calvin Abueva. The Beast bringing down the ball. The push shot, no good.
You can see the game plan of Meralco for Calvin Abueva. They'd rather him take that outside shot. They're sagging off him, really tempting him to take that 3 or to take that long 2.
Calvin Abueva with 4 points and already 5 rebounds, Dom, here in the first quarter.
You know, every coach that has handled Calvin Abueva has always said the energy, the motor that he brings to any team that he's played for. He's played for Alaska, he's now playing for Magnolia, but he's also played for Phoenix. What he brings to the team, a lot of intangibles. And that leadership, and the leadership that we're talking about is the effort that he shows on the floor.
Gusto ko malaman nakailang ligang labas dito si Ian Sanggalang tsaka si Calvin Abueva nung bata sila eh. Di ba? It's in Pampanga, so chances are they've seen action. They were able to play at some point here at the Dove Suit Gym. Dito nag-high school si Jason Castro. It was a full circle sort of thing for him earlier, saying that he formed his dreams of becoming a basketball player here. Was a track athlete first.
For sure, he blurred everybody.
It turned out well for him, no? Like 2-time best point guard in Asia, multiple-time PBA champion, Gilas Pilipinas mainstay,
and still
out.
balling.
30-second timeout requested by the Meralco Bolts as they were having trouble with the inbound.
Not just the inbound, but the field goal percentage for Meralco right now, 28% as compared to 41% for Magnolia. And Magnolia already with 12 rebounds.
5 of those courtesy of the Beast. 16-10 is the score. 3.5 remaining in the first quarter. Aaron Black kicks it out to Travis Jackson. Jackson against Ahan Misi. Maliksi now has possession against Jonicio. Alain, the jumper, short. Ball bounces towards Jonicio. Could have been fouled there. And that is indeed the call. Foul will be whistled against Alain.
You like the guys coming off the bench for the Hotshots, Jonicio, Halalon. They're continuing the energy, really putting the pressure and trying to speed up the game. Because if you're playing against Meralco, you want to speed things up. Why? Because you don't want their defense to set up.
Well, Gio Halalon only knows one speed.
It's 100%. Halalon, just a guy that, you know, you can I kind of compare him to like a Calvin Abueva that does so many different things on the floor. But it's just a smaller version.
Jackson Corpus, another defense first. You know, there are a lot of players who could be deemed as defense first coming from this Meralco and Magnolia squad.
Again, both teams, both coaches put a premium on defense, so they can really identify players that will play defense. You always look for a two-way player, but you know, if you're a good offensive player, you need to be able to work on your defense, especially when you're playing for these types of coaches, because they will just not allow you to just keep on shooting and not play defense on the other end.
2 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter of action. Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok call a timeout. They started like a house on fire, 10-0, but now their lead is down to 6, 16-10. Bello, the biggest addition in the offseason for the Meralco Bolts, had a career high in his first game and then mellowed out with his performance. But still, you cannot understate how important he is to what they're doing and how important he is for them to become the champions that they want to be.
Well, definitely a big piece addition is Mac Bello. And you know that game that he initially played, that he was best player, scored 24, 25 points if I'm not mistaken. You know that that's not going to happen every night. But what you want him to do every single night is to give you more or less a double-double, come off the bench, or start, depending on who you're playing, but give you that perimeter from the outside, take that three every so often, but also help you out defensively, get those rebounds, but be able to also give you a mismatch at the 3 and the 4 spot.
Gives them a lot of versatility, as you said, Dom.
You know, you talk about versatility. One of the guys that is watching us right now, probably the most versatile gentleman that I know, Coach Ryan Gregorio.
Oh. Coach Ryan's watching?
Yes, Coach Ryan.
Honor.
It's an honor for him to be watching us. He's probably shaking his head right now.
The alternate governor of the Meralco Bolts and a special assistant to the president of the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas. SBP was very busy yesterday with the draw. How do you like the draw?
Well, familiar foes.
Korea again.
Familiar foes, right? So I mean, end of the day, it is the draw. You like the chances. From what we saw in the previous window, obviously Korea is also in a rebuilding stage, and we are in a rebuilding stage as well. Seems like our players are, have a lead at least, or a step ahead. So end of the day, when we meet, that will be the question: the preparation and you know, to be able to continuously improve your craft in these trying times.
You know, the surprise is the first window of that competition will be on November. You know, we will of course be focusing on the PBA, but immediately after that, we have Gilas basketball once again, and it's just so exciting to have basketball on TV. It helps everyone stay at home.
And I love the move of the SPP of really rebuilding and going young, because that is really the recipe. Right, we've seen it with the Northern Consolidated in the 80s.
Yep.
We've seen it in Gilas 1.0.
Smart Gilas, yep.
Right? I mean, that's where it all started again, and we're back to that. So what's that been? 10 years? So that's something that, you know, it's a tested and proven formula that you get these young guys to be able to play a number of years, develop that camaraderie, and we've seen already some fruit to it.
Again, for those wondering, we are grouped with New Zealand,
India,
and surprise, surprise, South Korea. And we're very excited for the continued development of our Gilas Pilipinas men. A lot of great talents, of course, led by Program Director Coach Tap Baldwin. We resume action here at the Davsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. 6.3 seconds remaining in the shot clock for the Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok.
Anisi, one of the top standouts as well for the Magnolia Hotshots this last draft. They're hoping that he will get his stride and knock down those outside blocks.
Product of the Adamson Falcons in the UAAP. Jackson Corpus, meanwhile, showing us a stroke. Back-to-back baskets from the mid-range.
Jackson Corpus is a guy that I feel is very at home here at the Magnolia Hotshots, because he knows exactly what they want from him. That is to be defensively tough in the middle, help out, change shots, get rebounds, and just keep things solid for them, make it difficult for the opposing big men.
Malalon leading the attack for Magnolia. Nasara ng pinto, they go out to Corpus. Tried to be a tad too creative there. Not really his game, so he is forced to call a timeout. And this will be a full timeout for the Hotshots. They are still ahead 22-14 against the Meralco Bulls. 44 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And what has been an eventful matchup so far between the Magnolia Hotshots and the Meralco Bolts, two teams that pride themselves with their defense. And so far, it has been the more active defense of Magnolia getting the edge as they lead by 8.
Well, holding down Meralco to 25% from the field, 1 of 6 from the three-point area. Meralco, though, getting to the free throw line, 5 of 5 from that free throw line, so 5 of the 14 points coming from that area. And the bench for Meralco are the ones that have helped them out. You look at the scoring, it's 12 points from the bench of the Meralco Bolts.
So
8 points come from Ugnatan.
Yeah. Derek Ahanmisi having trouble, kicks it out to Halalon. Uh-oh, they don't realize that the clock was already running down. They called an emergency timeout earlier. Maybe they felt they had 14, but no one looked at the clock.
Sometimes coming off a timeout, you know, especially early on in the game, in the first quarter, you can forget what the shot clock is.
Chance now for Meralco to inch closer. Maliksi uses the screen. Velo against Jackson Corpus. Velo marches in, gets the basket and the foul.
This is what I was talking about. With Mac Bello, whether he's playing the 3 or the 4 spot, there will be a mismatch, either with quickness or strength. Look at the versatility of Mac Bello, putting the ball on the floor, going straight to the basket, and the foul from Jackson Corpus. So lamang na siya ng dalawa. Muntik niya maagawan si Jackson Corpus, and then now he gets a 3-point play.
Dom, when he entered the PBA, everyone expected him to be a superstar. Was it just the injuries that prevented him?
I remember, when he first started, the games that he had for Blackwater were definitely really good. But also, for you to become a superstar, you need a supporting cast, right? So you need to be surrounded by players as well. Because if not, you end up overexerting yourself, which can cause the injuries. You know, obviously, when you look back, it could have been the thing that happened to Mac Bello, but you know, for you to be a superstar, you need to be able to be surrounded by good players for your team to win, for you to be considered.
And he is hoping that it would be here with the Meralco Bolts, but now they find themselves down by 5, 22-17 at the end of the first quarter of action. The Magnolia's Hotshots stay undefeated so far in the Philippine Cup, largely because of the Pinatubo duo who are now playing in Pampanga. You have a couple of players who can give you at least 30 points per ball game as a duo, and you're just in for greatness.
And close to home, right? Obviously, these two guys know the ins and outs of Pampanga. Very comfortable are these two guys. But at the end of the day, they are professionals. They are guys that want to win a championship for this team. Magnolia made that big move for Calvin Abueva. Why? They know that Abueva can help them get over and get that championship. They came close. Remember, against the San Miguel Beermen a few years back.
Yep.
They were basically a shot away by Gio Halalon, but did not make it and have not won did not win that championship. So they're looking for an all-Filipino championship with Coach Chito Victolero.
Because they know they've already won a championship with an import with Romeo Travis. But everyone would tell you that it's different when it's the all-Filipino.
Definitely, an all-Filipino championship is very, very different. And that's why the PBA gives you rings, because that is, everybody, that's what you're vying for. Obviously, with an import, you have that chance to be able to fill a certain gap that you cannot do that with your all-Filipino crew. Obviously, pag all-Filipino, mahirap yung tamang timpla ng players. And with an import, you can get a prolific import and he'll stay with you 3-4 months and he can really change things for you. But the pride is really in the All-Filipino Cup.
Justin Melton seeing his first action of the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021, coming off an injury, is able to use the lull in the action to nurse himself back into full health. So that adds another solid rotation player, another good point guard for Coach Chito Victolero. 5 on the floor for the Magnolia Hotshots. Melton, Halalon, Rivas, Paul Lee, and Jackson Corpus. 3-point guard lineup As the ball will stay with the Magnolia Hotshots. Ball last touched by Aaron Black.
7 seconds.
Aaron Black coming off that last stint in the bubble really showed everybody what he could do, playing even all the way up to the semifinals, having solid games in the playoffs.
Tough jumper coming from Gio Halalon, well defended, but he somehow gets it to go down.
Slowly but surely, you can see Meralco has gotten back. Field goal shooting a little bit better, but more so defensively, they are making stops right now.
Alain Maliksi draws a foul from Paul Lee. He's joined by Macbelo, Hugnatan, Aaron Black, and Travis Jackson as a 5 for Coach Norman Black.
14 seconds to shoot.
Foul on Gio Halalon.
I thought Aaron Black was asking help from his dad.
Coach Norman established position early. Alain Maliksi from the outside, nothing there, but he gets the ball back. Mid-range J, Alain, too strong this time. Another offensive rebound for Meralco. If you're not shooting well, get those offensive rebounds.
And those offensive rebounds go to the free throw line, and that's what happened. You know, in the first quarter, Carlo, 6 of 6 from the free throw line were the Meralco Bolts. That's 6 points of the 17 that they made.
Calvin Abueva re-enters the contest for Jackson Corpus. As Raymond Almazan does the same for the Meralco Bolts.
Reynald Hugnatan leading all scorers with 8 points.
14 seconds to shoot.
So 3 of the starters for Coach Chito Victolero back on the floor now in Sangalang Abueva and Paul Lee. They were the ones who combined for a hot start, that 10-0 spurt for the Hotshots. And they find the same magic once again. Macbelo misses from deep. Magnolia will go on the attack here. Melton mishandling the ball. Paul Lee gives it up to Melton. Corner, triple, no good. Rebound, Black.
Carl, this is a quick 5 for Magnolia. This is a 5 that wants to run, push that basketball and get fast break layups or even open threes on the fast break.
The jumper will not work out for Almazan. Lead is still at 4 for the Hotshots. Gio for 3, no good.
You can see going under that screen, wanting Gio Halalon to take that 3 instead of going to the basket.
Alain Maliksi has been so aggressive in looking for his shot as always, but he has been drawing fouls as well.
Alain Maliksi is a guy that when he's on the floor, if he's not scoring, then he's not doing his job.
Yep.
Right? You want him there to be able to score already with 7 points in the ball game.
Bakit di ka tumitira? Anong ginagawa mo dyan?
Exactly. You're not there for your defense.
4 fouls drawn already by Alain Maliksi. And he adds another free throw to his tally. And before they had Alain Maliksi, Meralco would go on these scoring droughts where all of the things that they've built up, just they lose in a couple of minutes, but then you insert an off-the-bench scorer like Alain who just stays ready. Every time you need him, he is there to shoot.
And you have Alain Maliksi coming off the bench, and even a Macbelo now coming off the bench. So you talk about depth. Meralco has definitely been able to do that in the offseason by getting Macbelo.
So you can see yung process talaga no, ng Meralco Bolts, just building, learning that it wasn't enough, rebuilding, adding more talent, and finally, Coach Norman Black feels that in terms of just coaching the Meralco Bolts, this is the best team he's ever assembled.
Oh, for sure, talent-wise, in terms of, you know, you even get an Alvin Pasaol. So, I mean, you already got a Macbelo, then you still get an Alvin Pasaol. You're really looking at being able to get guys off the bench to be able to score 4, 8 points at any given time.
Alain Maliksi heating up after hitting all those free throws. Now, starting to convert from the field.
Second personal foul on Alain Maliksi.
He knows he has a size advantage against Paul Lee.
that step back, one of his strongest weapons, going to the right side. And that little step back, because he's so long and his shot goes way up there. Very difficult to stop that.
Only a 2-point advantage now for Magnolia. Paul Lee kicks it out. Calvin Abueva for 3. That's good.
Well, they were baiting him to take that 3-point shot. Making them pay was Calvin Abueva.
Felixi with the extra pass. Macbello attacks baseline. Thwarted. Oh, but somehow he was almost able to get a stop. Paulie leads the break for Magnolia. Barroca to the middle. Nice extra passing. Unfortunately for Ian Sangalang, he could not finish, but he will pick up a couple of free throws.
Tough miss that time by Ian Sangalang. But credit the defense of the Hotshots of that zone, forcing Meralco into a missed shot. And then pushing that basketball and getting fouled. So, you know, like I mentioned, with Magnolia, the 5 on the floor, this is a group of guys that wants to be able to push that ball. These guys are young and want to be able to get out in the open court.
That was actually the first free throw that Magnolia has taken in this entire ball game.
And on the other hand, Meralco has what, 11?
Yep.
11 of 11.
Split for Ian Sangalang, enough to give them a 6-point lead.
Safe to say, you know what Meralco was practicing during the lockdown.
Because you're all alone. You have your one rim. You can practice all the free throws you want.
I wonder how many of these guys actually have a basketball court near them, right? That they're able to take some shots.
Lepage with the response for the Meralco Bulls. Bridging his team closer, only down by 4 now as Alvin Pasaol is on the floor for the Meralco Bulls. Mark Barroca misses from deep. Gang rebounding favors Meralco. Pinto.
Almost traveled.
Yep.
And Carlo, interesting enough, Meralco prior to the halt, right, was shooting only 68% from the free throw line.
Someone practiced.
Or they did something, right? I mean, if they didn't physically practice on the court, they must have been lying down or working on their mechanics.
Let's see with Cliff Hodge. Yep. Still there.
Cliff Hodge, you know, has never really been known to be such a great free throw shooter. Prior to this game, 4 of 11, 36% from the free throw line.
Two for 2, barely grazing iron.
13 of 13 from the free throw line are the Bolts. And this is something that they like doing, trying to delay the offense of the opponents by doing a three-quarter court, full court pressure. Not necessarily pressure, but like a
Just a pickup.
just a pickup zone type of full court pressure.
Ian Sangalang with a push shot, nothing there. And the tip-in was too strong coming from De La Rosa. Chance now to tie or even take the lead. Almost turnover there for Pinto. Newsome against Sangalang, lost his grip on the ball. Somehow finds Raymond Almazan, clobber down low. 2 more free throws coming right up for the Meralco Bolts.
Oh, who's the foul on? Is it going to be on Sangalang or is it going to be on Abueva? That's a third personal foul on Sangalang. Not good news with 6:52 left in the second quarter.
2 free throws for Raymond Almazan.
Raymond Almazan, of course, one of the more important pieces added by the Meralco Bolts.
It's going to be key for Meralco if they want to be able to win a championship health. I remember when they made a move for Raymond Almazan. They played Barangay Ginebra in the finals. And before he got injured, he was the best player of that ball game. So if he's healthy, then it increases their chances of winning by so much.
First miss from the stripe for the Meralco Bolts. And Magnolia will stay in front of them right now, 30-29. Hanmisi, the jumper, no good. Thought he was fouled, no call. So the Bolts turn things around. 3-point shot, top of the key. That's good for Newsome.
That's tough for Anisi on one end. Not able to get what he wants. On the other end, giving up that 3-point shot by Chris Newsome.
First taste of the lead for the Meralco Bolts. This might be reviewed here because from our angle, Dom, after the initial contact, there was an additional pull coming from Cliff Hodge.
The referees would definitely review that, and Abueva holding on to his shoulder.
And our crew is certainly maximizing that top shot. That was a great look. There's the foul. And then, there was this extra...
We're trying to make sure that Abueva would not be able to get the 2 points.
That's his first 3-team fouls for now.
And it was deemed that he was not going for the ball anymore. He pulled him down, so it was called a deliberate foul.
And because Abueva was trying to go up and then Cliff Hodge was trying to pull down, that really takes a toll on your shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, I'm agreeing, but I wouldn't know.
That's happened to me so many times. It's happened to me so many times that you're trying to, even especially when you go for a shot fake and you go up and the other guy's trying to snap the ball out of your hands. And if your shoulders, you just know that when that happens, maybe your shoulders are not strong enough yet.
Yeah. Cliff Hodge asking for an explanation. But it's not a flagrant foul, so he will be allowed to stay on the floor, at least for the time being. 2 free throws in ball possession for the Magnolia Hotshots. Already good numbers. 9.7 rebounds, 2 blocks. We still have 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
There will be 2 free throws and ball possession because of that deliberate foul. Numbers of Calvin Abueva for other players, that would be for the entire game.
That's true.
The Hotshots with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
And the combined numbers of how many times Abueva and Cliff Hodge have been on the floor in this matchup. Abueva with the entry pass to Rivas. Kicks it out. Abueva for 3. That's good. Another 3-point conversion for the Beast.
Calvin Abueva with 2 3-point shots already. I was actually surprised that he gave the ball to Rafi Rivas because you don't really see too many times that Rafi Rivas will seal and turn and do like a little jump hook.
Good decision though coming from Rivas, giving the ball right back to Abueva for that triple. Another foul drawn, this time by Mark Barroca, as he will be stepping to the free throw line for 2.
That's his first 14th foul for the Bulls.
Oh, looks like he's okay.
Mark Barroca is always okay.
He's tough. He's tough.
After L.A. Tenorio, he is the Iron Man of the PBA, and it's for a reason. I mean, he takes care of his body, he's ultra tough.
And he's not just tough in the Philippines. He's tough even in international competition.
Free throws for Mark Barroca.
Mark Barroca, a decade into his career in the PBA, still effective, 12 points, 5.5 assists, really good field goal shooting, 53% for a point guard is impressive.
Well, first, not too many people have a 10-year career in the PBA. Second, more impressive point for me for Mark Barroca is it doesn't seem like he slowed down even a bit from the time he entered the league, right? If he would go at 100 kilometers per hour before, in terms of speed, he's still going 100 kilometers per hour.
But now he's smarter. Right? He has picked up so much knowledge, of course, won so many championships throughout his stint. And he's one of the players na hindi pa nakakatikim ng ibang team.
Yes.
Stayed with the very team that drafted him.
And that's really testament on the attitude that you have as a player, your work ethic, because the team just wants to keep on re-signing you.
In this ball game, that's Mark Barroca, that's Cliff Hodge as well for the Meralco Bolts. yung mga ganyan, it goes beyond talent. It's mostly about your personality.
And how you blend well, right, with your teammates, because your teammates will change.
Oh, big time block there coming from Calvin Abueva, erasing the shot from Pasaol. Barroca wide open for three, no good. Rebound for Pasaol.
Even if that was open, may not have been the best shot for Magnolia.
Open court basketball, effective for Cliff Hodge as he gets this N1 opportunity of a foul from Abueva.
Bonus free throw for Cliff Hodge.
So it was Raymond Almazan who broke the streak. Cliff Hodge, you know, if you were to choose someone, it would have been Cliff Hodge and Raymond Almazan. Cliff Hodge now missing that free throw, but you know, obviously you cannot shoot 100% for long.
But still impressive from the stripe for the Meralco Bolts. That has been one of the biggest reasons why they were able to get back into this contest.
And you like how they did not panic, even if it was a big 7-0 start for the Magnolia Hotshots.
Rafi Rivas, mid-range jumper, no good. Another rebound for Pasaon. Oh, unfortunately, the pass was a little too strong there. Wasted opportunity for Meralco.
And that's basically an unforced turnover by Pasaol that time.
Four minutes and 20 seconds, a little slower pace in the second quarter, perhaps because of the fouls also committed. Magnolia in penalty, Meralco has 14 fouls. Paulie has been quiet since his return after the hot start. Abueva, another three on the way. Too strong this time. Rebound picked up by Hodge. Erased it from Pasaol.
Cliff Hodge doing what he does best, getting those rebounds, being tough inside.
Hugnatan misses from deep. An offensive rebound for Hodge, but he lost the ball to Rivas.
If I'm not mistaken, Hugnatan and Rafi Rivas are in the same batch.
I'm just sure that Rivas and Coach Chito Victolero were in the same match. That much I'm sure of.
2001.
That much I'm sure
Was
of.
it 2001? If I'm not mistaken, I think 2001.
That has been a running joke for the Magnolia Hotshots.
I know 2001 draft, Willie Miller was the #1 pick.
That's correct.
I know who the 31st pick was as well.
I know him too well.
I think Hugnatan was 2003.
2003. See, Mark Agui was also from that batch.
He is #2.
Number 3.
#3.
Yeah. Second was Mike Rayback.
Mike Rayback. Still 2-point lead by the Hotshots.
So Rafi Rivas was 2002, second overall, behind Yancy De Ocampo. And Coach Chito Victolero was number 13.
There you go.
During that draft.
Or Santa Lucia.
Correct. Hugnatan was the year after.
2003.
Drafted right before Jimmy Alapag.
#9.
Yes.
Interesting. But can you imagine Hugnatan? 2003 and it's 2021 already. But you know, when you look at it, Asi Taulaba still in the PBA, only player who's played 4 decades, right?
4 different decades, yep. And it wasn't like he was coming fresh out of college, because he was playing off the NBA when he decided to join the draft, right?
No, Asi I don't think played the
No. Hugnatan.
Hugnatan, yes.
Hugnatan. A 3-point conversion coming from Paul Lee. As he finally hit another basket. Meralco Bolts will call this time out. Look at this once again. A running 3-point shot. Similar to the shot that Matthew Wright hit against him in the PBA bubble. Paul Lee finding the bank, sinking that shot, and this time was brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Second quarter of this ball game sa pagitan ng Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok, and the Meralco Bolts. Carlo Pamintuan po kasama si Dominic Oy, and Dom has been, as expected, a basketball game that is determined by the kind of defense that both teams are playing.
Of these two teams, like we mentioned, really take pride in their defense. Look at the score right now, 34-39. These teams will always have or put a target, which is about 20 points per quarter to be allowed by the opposing team. And these two teams, like we mentioned, two of the best defensive teams, number 3 and number 4. Meralco averages 79 points per ball game against Magnolia 79.3, so which is about 20 points per quarter.
So all indications point to this matchup being a tight one, contested until the very end.
All the way to the end. And free throws may be the deciding factor for these two teams.
But so far, pabor yung free throws sa Meralco Bolts. They have been going to the stripe regularly since the first quarter. As Paul Lee going up against Chris Newsome steps back. The three-point shot is good.
You cannot leave him open like that. That's his favorite shot, that step back. And that time he got away with a little bit of a push. Chris Newsome losing his footing.
Pang-apat na three-point conversion coming from the lethal weapon. Oh, what a good response coming from Reynal Hugnatan. He was in traffic there, found a way.
And usually, when you get older, you just want to take those jump shots. But not Reynal Hugnatan. He's still going to the basket.
Gio Halalon is a sort of player, you think that he is out of control. He's not. He's exactly where he wanted to be.
He's just that fast.
Quinto outside, refused to take the shot. Black to Hugnatan. Reynel umatake as he's fouled from behind.
Oh, because of that 3 personal fouls, now they had to call on Pascual.
Yeah.
Play a number of minutes, and that's the depth that we were talking about. That is very important, especially in an all-Filipino conference, where you'll be going, 9, 10 deep into your rotation. Hugnatan, we mentioned 8 points for him in the first quarter. That should be 10 already then, because he just made a layup.
Yep, 10 points in the game for Reynel Hugnatan. Try to make it 11 from this second free throw. 27 bench points, make that 28 bench points already for the Meralco Bolts.
So because of Hugnatan, because of Alain Maliksi, these two guys really helping out.
7-point advantage for the Hotshots. Less than 2 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Turnaround move, jumper, Paul Lee, automatic.
If there's any question about the injury of Paul Lee, I think that answers, with that move, it answers everybody's question. I would say 95%.
And certainly all the conditioning that he did, yung pagbawas niya ng timbang, fixing his diet, all of that helped him bounce back from injuring his hamstring. At yun yung pangalawang butinging namatay dito sa Dubs 2. Kanina merong nauna kay Simon Enciso eh. Newsome up top. Oh!
Wow!
How about the young legs of Cliff Hodge?
I mean, we talked about his injuries right at the beginning of the ball game, but showing everybody that he can get up there still.
The
What a
guy
pass.
can still sky. Cliff Hodge.
We got to see that again.
Oh, yes, please. On the break, Chris Newsome, and when Cliff Hodge takes flight, it's lob at first sight conversion on the alley-oop between Newsome and Hodge.
Just a perfect pass by Chris Newsome, perfectly timed jump by Cliff Hodge, and the two-handed slam.
In case y'all forgot, it's the theme coming from Cliff Hodge. This was something that he regularly did with Chris Ellis when they were in the PBA Developmental League.
And he joined the slam dunk.
Yep.
Slam dunk competition of the PBA. Cliff Hodge, just what a play. Carlo, allow me to greet a friend of mine, Mr. Winnie Cañete. Happy birthday, big PBA fan. always watches the PBA and always happy that the PBA has started on his birthday.
Happy birthday! 8 points, 8 rebounds for Cliff Hodge.
Play of the day.
For sure. Oh, but that Wami Chongson triple against the San Miguel Beerman was also
Play of the
taken
game.
care
Play of the game.
Play of the game.
Play of the game.
Play of the game. We'll settle there. Good cross-court pass, wide open. De La Rosa missing. Well, usually that's his favorite shot. Halalon gives them a basket either way off an offensive rebound.
You like how Meralco has come back, but then Magnolia. Coach Chito Victor calls on Paul Lee. Paul Lee leads the way. And it's not necessarily him scoring, but orchestrating and being in there, giving options to the team.
Aaron Black momentarily open for 3. No good. Last shot time para sa Magnolia Hotshots. Oli bringing the ball down against Newsome. Both teams without a foul to give, both in penalty. Oli with Newsome all over him. Yep, clear foul against Newsome. 2 free throws coming up for the lethal weapon.
And you can see that Paul Lee is even quicker now. And because he's got great handles, it's doubly hard to stop him. When you're going one-on-one, it's all about quickness and being able to change direction.
2 free throws for Paul Lee.
He explained to us the weight loss during the pandemic. Sabi niya, he felt like because he was working hard in practices that he can eat whatever he wanted. During the pandemic, realized that because there was a limit to how much you can work, you also had to limit what you put into your body.
I mean, that's something definitely you can relate to, something you went through, and it's really, it's difficult. It's not something easy, but once you make that decision and once you see the results, it's something that you stick to.
As he converts on those free throws, still close to perfect for Paulie in this entire conference. Newsome to beat the buzzer. Too strong, and that is where we will end things in the first half of action. The Magnolia Hotshots with a quick start. The Meralco Bolts battling back. But here in the second quarter, Calvin Abueva already picking up a double-double, adding 2 assists. Dagdagan mo pa ng 3 blocks for an all-around performance for the Beast. At syempre, yung shooting ni Paulie, he was hot in the first quarter. He returned here in the second and still converted on 3-point shots, on free throws, on mid-range jumpers. That will allow the Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok to take a 50-39 lead against the Meralco Bolts at the end of the first 2 quarters of action. At the half of this ball game, Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok up 50-39 against the Meralco Bolts. Their defense standing strong in some spurts in the second quarter as they have surged ahead. Paulie, a huge reason for their high-scoring performance so far.
Paulie just knows how to make the defense pay. He knows how to read the defense and get his shot up. 3-point shooting for the Magnolia Hotshots that worked early in the ball game. But then Reynald Hugnatan coming off the bench, scoring 8 points for the Meralco Bolts, bringing back the Bolts into the ball game in the first quarter.
Jackson Corpus also getting a couple of mid-range jumpers to fall. But in the second quarter, unti-unting nakabalik ang Meralco Bolts because of their bench. Hugnatan we already saw. Ito naman tira mula kay Alain Maliksi as he shot a jumper over the defense of Paulie.
Alain Maliksi coming off the bench. That's why Coach Norman Black, and that's what he asks for in Alain Maliksi. Come off the bench, bring me the points, give me that little spurt to be able to rest the starters. Alain Maliksi, a scorer at heart and will always be a scorer. Chris Newsom with his awesome pass to Cliff Hodge for that slam dunk. Definitely the play of the game, as we discussed. But the Meralco Bolts really coming back in that second quarter. But you look at the Magnolia Hotshots, no turnovers in the third quarter. And look at the free throws, 15 of 18, 6 of 8, 75% for the Magnolia Hotshots. 3-point shooting, obviously that goes to the Hotshots' second chance points. Also, we saw Meralco giving up a lot of those offensive rebounds. Considering Meralco is a very good rebounding team, not able to do that in the first 24 minutes of action. And the points off the turnovers, 13 points off turnovers for the Hotshots. Off only the 7 turnovers rather of the Meralco Bolts. So that's really capitalizing on every mistake that the Meralco Bolts does or has.
Our leading scorers, Alain Maliksi and Reynel Hugnatan, 2 players off the bench for the Meralco Bolts. On the other side, 2 starters, Paulie with 16, Calvin Abueva with 13, Halalon Corpus and Sangalang also helping out. On the other side, it's Hodge, Newsom, and Mac Bello. So it has been the Paulie show in his triumphant return from a hamstring injury that he suffered against the Terra Firma Jeep in their last game before the halt in the action. Yan, you can see just the excitement, Dom, coming from all of these players. No? Alam mo, na-miss nila yung isa't isa, na-miss nila yung basketball, na-miss nila performing. Siyempre, wala pa ring fans. We will continue to miss the presence of fans until this pandemic is over, where we can all enjoy basketball in venue again. But now we have to, be joyful. We have to settle for this. Watching from the television, at least there's PBA basketball.
Exactly, and there's live sports, live PBA action. That's definitely a plus for all of us, during these trying times. It's what keeps us sane, right? Definitely a good thing for the Filipino people. And even from Filipinos who are not in the country but can watch this, because there's so many ways to watch the PBA.
Oh, when we were in Japan, we were watching the PBA.
See?
Yeah.
So many different ways, so there's no reason for you not to be able to catch a PBA game.
50-39 is the count. Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok still up by double digits as we start the proceedings in the third quarter of action. Alain Maliksi starting out in this third quarter. Perhaps Coach Norman Black sensing that he needs offense quick here in the third?
Oh, definitely. He saw that Alain Maliksi playing well in the first 2 quarters. He has that rhythm. And when Alain Maliksi has a rhythm, you want to keep on using him. Another offensive rebound.
Comes up empty though as he was denied at the cup by Raymond Almazan. Hodge, Maliksi, Pinto, Newsom, and Almazan is the 5 for Coach Norman Black and Meralco. And this time, it will be Raymond Almazan getting second chance points for Meralco.
What we've noticed ever since the departure of Baser Amer, Nard Pinto is the #1 point guard now for the Meralco Bolts, and he's not necessarily looking for a shot. We know that he can score. Remember when he was playing for Blackwater at that time, he could easily get 15, 20 points a ball game. He still has that, but he's not looking for that. He's looking at setting up his teammates first and foremost.
Almazan completes the end one play as he inches Meralco closer in this ball game. Ang 5 para kay Coach Chito Victorero, Calvin Abueva, Paulie Mark Barroca, Rom De La Rosa, and Ian Sangalang. Abueva and Sangalang pareho nang may 3 personal fouls. Abueva with 6 to work with in the shot clock. Bailed out there with a foul against Newsom.
That could be also the 3rd personal foul.
Chris Newsom, that's his 3rd, 1 on the nose. 14 seconds on the shot
Newsom,
clock.
5 points in 19 minutes of action.
Paulie playing cat and mouse with Newsom. Double team. Another foul.
Fouls number 11, Chris Newsom.
Oh, Newsom again. 4th personal foul.
So now you're forced to sit him down.
Substitution Bob Quinto for Chris Newsom. 14 seconds to shoot.
See the discussion between the coach and Newsom saying, don't give them the opportunity to call anything.
Yes, and that's really the key. You know, you don't give a reason, an opportunity for the referee to blow his whistle by swiping and, you know, putting a little bit more.
Meralco protesting. Polly looks like he's half guilty. But again, at this stage, we don't have a review. So unless another official had a better look at it, and will be able to talk it out with the official who made the call closer to the action, the ball will indeed go to the Magnolia Hotshots.
So assistant coach Luigi Trillo given a warning.
So Magnolia will have an opportunity para dagdagan itong 10-point lead, 52-42. Sangalang against Almazan. We've seen this matchup so many times in the past, even in the collegiate ranks. They go back to Sangalang, misses, as Almazan picks up the board.
Sangalang only with 3 points so far.
First 3 points scored here in the second half as Quinto was subbing in para kay Chris Newsom, making his presence felt. Reverse slip is gone somehow for the East.
Calvin Abueva just finds ways to be able to score. They look tough, but he's always solid, and he does it against much taller players, whether in the PBA or even in international when he plays for Gilas.
Good move coming from Quinto. Nagmadali went on the attack early and he was able to fish a foul from Paul Lee. Alain versus Lee. Maliksi goes to Almazan against Sangalang. Sangalang has 3 personal fouls. Quinto attacks baseline. Quinto in trouble. Oh, he finds Cliff Hodge for the reverse.
You gotta credit Cliff Hodge not stopping, making himself available so that it was difficult for his teammate.
Calvin Abueva babawi. One-hander's good.
Calvin Abueva, you can see he's got his game face on.
Raymond cross-court pass. Quinto for 3. No good. Rebound. Abueva again.
Hasn't really been shooting the three-point ball really well. 1 of 11 for the conference for both Quinto.
Sharp crossover coming from Paul Lee, but he comes empty with the shot.
And that's the thing, when you're playing against Paul Lee, you gotta be able to try to stay in front of him. Obviously, it's a lot easier said than done.
Operative word is try. But the pace has definitely picked up them here in the second quarter.
So you can see now that the teams are a little bit more comfortable, you know, after the first 24 minutes of action. A little bit of rhythm going for them, especially for the Hotshots.
Not a lot of fouls also being committed. Kanina, aga na punta sa penalty ng Magnolia. Now both teams, ikalawang fouls pa lamang with 4 minutes gone by in our third quarter. Barroca, mid-range jumper, bothered and fouled by Pinto. Pinto is another player who was able to get into really good physical conditioning during the lockdown.
Well, Quinto and Pinto
Yep.
easily lost, what, 15 pounds each.
And imagine just how big 15 pounds will be to athletes at the highest level.
I mean, they were good to begin with. Right? Then you take away that weight, obviously you'll become quicker. The key is when you lose the weight is you don't lose the strength.
Ahanmisi checks back into the ball game, replacing Paul Lee. Mark Baroka converts in both free throws. Back to a double-digit advantage for the Hotshots. What do you want to see differently for the Meralco Bolts here in the third quarter, though?
Well, when you look at what they've been doing is they've been fouling a lot, right? And when you foul a lot, that means that the opposing team now is able to get on the line. Also, you don't want to give up offensive rebounds because if you're not fouling, you're giving up an offensive rebound. So that makes it doubly difficult for you to make the stops. And you're a team that really prides yourself with the defense.
In terms of offense, what else do you want to see from them? They have to make up 10 points in the rest of this ballgame.
I think offensively, they're doing okay.
Yeah.
You know that they're not prolific or a prolific scoring team. They've been moving the ball quite well. You just got to be able to make those open shots.
Good drive there coming from Pinto, allowing Cliff Hodge an easy path to the follow-up. Nabura, itong si Calvin Abueva with that drive coming from Pinto. 8-point Magnolia lead. Handoff to Ahanmisi. Jeric to Abueva will not pull the trigger. Instead, they go to De La Rosa for three. Won't work. Rebound picked up by Sangalang.
Offensive rebound means a second opportunity, second chance.
Oh, all of a sudden, Mark Baroka pulls the trigger as he comes up short.
Yeah, could have waited for a better shot.
7 seconds pa sa shot clock, but Mark Baroka rushed it. As you're approaching the midway mark of our third quarter of action. Almazan goes to the corner. Pinto kicks it out to Pinto for three. No good.
That's a well-executed play by Meralco, finding the open man, just not able to knock it down.
Sabi mo nga doon, no? They're doing the correct things, just not getting the shots to fall.
And if you're the coach, you can't get mad at that
Yeah.
because you're getting the shots, you know, good shots, just not able to knock them down.
And it's their first time playing in this venue, might need to get a little more familiar, as this time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Siya, no?
The energy coming from the Meralco Bolts, the energy coming from the Magnolia Hotshots, led by two forwards, Cliff Hodge for the Bolts, Abueva for the Hotshots. And their matchup, their head-to-head has been something we've been following for the longest time. Nagpapalit-palit ng team si Calvin Abueva, now landing with Magnolia. His first time in a Magnolia jersey to go up against Hodge. But the story, guess what, is still the same.
So you look at these two guys, 14 points and 9 rebounds for Hodge. Abueva with 17, 12, and 3 blocks. I mean, you talk about stats all across the board for Calvin Abueva, and there's still some stats that we don't see. How many times they fell on the floor, how many stops they've made.
How many times they fell on the floor together. New players now seeing action for both squads. Jackson Corpus missing from the outside. Halalon alongside Sangalang De La Rosa. And Jeric Ahanmisi sa kabilang banda naman. Alain Maliksi is with Macbelo. Aaron Black, Alvin Pasaol, and Reynel Hugnatan. Hugnatan with a mismatch.
Unselfish
Leads to the
play.
foul.
unselfish play. You gotta love how Mac Bello looked inside to Reynel Hugnatan. He could have actually taken that 3-point shot and there would have been no problem wanting to go inside to Hugnatan.
Uh-oh, this could be problematic. Fourth personal foul for Ian Sangalang, which might force the hand itong si Coach Chito Pictolero. Kasi kanina si Coach Norman Black, nung nagka-fourth personal sinusam, nilabas agad. Would you think Coach Chito would do the same at this stage?
I would. I mean, you're up 8 points. And, 5 minutes and 25, you don't want to risk him getting a fifth personal foul.
And team captain, the Magnolia Hotshots, Rafi Rivas checking in for Ian Sangalang. It hasn't been one of the games where we see Ian Sangalang really dominate with his scoring inside.
He's been struggling with his shooting, is Ian Sangalang. He's missed like a number of those point-blank shots, though they were contested, but these are the shots that he usually makes. So far, 1 of 8 from the field for Sangalang.
Ouch. Down to a 6-point advantage for Magnolia. Meralco starting to hum on offense. Halalon attacks middle. His pass tapped, stolen. As Magnolia will commit another foul here, drawn by Pasaol.
Pasaol did not have such a great first stint in the first half, wanting to get back, score some points.
Though we've also noticed that most of our rookies have struggled to get things going. Do you think it's a part of it is not getting enough time with their respective teams?
For sure. I mean, playing in the league, it's all about getting comfortable to the professional game, but also your teammates. Because, when you're a rookie, there are alpha dogs on the team, and you got to be able to learn how to bond with them, how to be comfortable with them, and what they like, and to be able to fit into the system.
Meralco's offense starting to flow now. Reynel Hugnatan puts them to within 4 of the Magnolia Hotshots. Jeric Ahanmisi, top of the key 3. Nothing there as he was fouled by Pasaol. Jeric will take 3.
Well, just a 4-point lead now by the Hotshots. So slowly but surely, Meralco coming back. That was an 11-point differential at the end of 24 minutes.
Important free throws for Ahanmisi just to stop the bleeding, calm things down a little bit for Magnolia. Nag-umpisang bumaba yung efficiency ng opensa nila nung umupo si Paul Lee. No, nothing yet from Gio Halalon or Justin Melton for that matter.
And then Ian Sangalang also getting into foul trouble. Plus, he doesn't have a good field goal shooting night.
Rafi Rivas having a little bit of fun with his, hindi naman batchmate no? Pero ka-era na si Reynel Hugnatan. 2001 and 2003 PBA drafts. Eventful even for Dominic Uy.
Forgettable for the league. Oh, that was a stacked draft. I mean, you talk about one of the stronger drafts in the PBA.
Great idea coming from Alvin Pasaol. Just could not execute itong si Mac Bello. Missing on that gimme. As the Hotshots will try to add on to the 6-point lead. Halalon against Pasaol. He has the definite speed advantage. Sets up Jackson Corpus. Mid-range jumper, good again.
Gotta love how he's ready to take that jumper. Not afraid. And again, very defined role for Jackson Corpus here for the Magnolia Hotshots.
That's his shot. And Gio Halalon did his best to set him up. All he had to do was knock it down. Mac Bello for 3. No good, but he gets the ball back. Offensive rebound for Bello. Mac finds a way to score this time.
Just being patient, seeing where he had that little hole to be able to get around Rafi Rivas.
Forget about the miss. Diba?
Yes.
Parang nakalimutan mo na agad dapat.
Okay lang yun kasi miss. That means may rebound ka. So dalawa yung stats mo, di ba? 2 points at rebound.
Justin Melton missing from deep. As we swing back to the side of the Bolts. Oh, Macbello converts from deep as he scores 5 points in rapid succession. Meralco only down by 3.
And that's what we were talking about, Macbello, what he brings to the team, that depth coming off the bench, the scoring. Now you have Maliksi, you have Pasaol, you have Macbello coming off the bench. Especially in a game that you don't really have much scoring yet from a guy like Chris Newsom.
Aaron Black called for a pushing foul and it will send Gio Halalon to the free throw line. Masyadong malayo yung depensa ni Jackson Corpus, allowing Macbello to convert on this triple. 62-59, Halalon shooting free throws when we come back.
Substitution, John Pinto for eliminated. The free throw is Gio Halalon.
First free throw is good for Gio Halalon. So, baliktad na yung storya natin, Dom. No? Kanina, it was Meralco taking advantage of the free throws to inch closer against Magnolia. Now, Magnolia is using their free throws to keep Meralco away.
But Meralco doing a much better job here in the third quarter. So far, Meralco with 20 points in this quarter. Magnolia, on the other hand, has 14.
The action coming to you from the Don Honorio Ventura State University in Bacolor, Pampanga. This is the first day of the PBA restart of your Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay. This is PBA Rush. I'm Carlo Pamintuan with Dominic Uy. Our third offering for today, we had the TNT Tropang Giga defeating the Blackwater Bossing in our first game. Terra Firma G upsetting the San Miguel Beermen in our second game. And now this tussle at the top between two of the teams, you know, near the top of the standings. 4-0 for the Magnolia Hotshots, 4-1 for the Meralco Bolts.
Well, what about TNT and Coach Chot Reyes? Undefeated. What a way to come back for Coach Chot. And, you know, Terra Firma has this penchant of playing well against San Miguel.
Yeah.
I remember there was one game at the Araneta Coliseum a couple of years ago in overtime for Terra Firma.
Another three-point shot for Macbello.
8 points in the quarter.
We were waiting for another explosion similar to his debut with the Meralco Bolts. We got something close here in the third quarter against Magnolia. Ahan Misi for three. God counter coming from the rookie.
He really needs that to be able to, you know, his confidence, because they're giving him the time. They're giving him opportunities.
Entry pass tapped by Rivas, stolen by Halalon, and then a foul, another one against Meralco. They are in penalty. So 2 free throws coming up for Gio.
That's just how long Rafi Rivas is able to get that pass of Reynel Hugnatan.
That's his first personal foul.
Good pin down screen. Dalawa yung dinamay ni Reynel Hugnatan. Both Jackson Corpus and Rafi Rivas preventing anyone from stopping Macbello from landing that triple.
But that also started out from that post up by Alvin Pasol, because he had that advantage down low. Defense had to help. And then getting that pin down screen, open shot for Macbello.
Sabi ni Polly, pasalamat ka, Alvin, payat na ako ng konti. Would have been a better matchup 2 years ago. But Calvin Abueva, the beast, back in the ball game. Halalo on his second free throw. Also good, so the Magnolia Hotshots are doing just enough to keep the Meralco Bolts at bay here in the third quarter. Back to a 7-point lead.
Oh, that pressure being shown by the Hotshots, by the backcourt defensively, just making it so difficult for the Bolts, even to get the ball inbounds.
And that will force Aaron Black to request their 30-second timeout. Cliff Hodge re-enters the contest for Reynel Hugnatan. As you check out our schedule for tomorrow, the NLEX Road Warriors against the Alaska Aces at 2 p.m. and then the Rainer Shine Elasto Painters going up against the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters. Muli po, our games Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday na lang kayo maghanap ng gagawin. we got you covered the rest of the week.
So Tuesdays, the Thursdays and Saturday, dalawa lang, double header. Pero Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, triple header yan.
Monday, laundry.
Yes.
Tuesday, siguro grocery nyo. Tapos okay na. Okay na for the rest of the week.
Tsaka basically it starts in the afternoon. Diba? Lunch pa lang hanggang dinner.
That's true for our Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, our triple headers. Oh, steal here forced by Jeric Ahanmisi. Paul Lee gets the ball. He will not force the issue. Going one-on-one against Alvin Pasaol. Paul Lee uses the screen from Rivas. Steps back for three. No good. Rebound picked up by Aaron Black. Cliff Hodge trying for the layup.
Able to get that momentum was Cliff Hodge. When he gets that, the only way to stop him is if you foul him.
Had a runway long enough for the takeoff. Down to a 5-point lead for the Hotshots. Hanmisi against Hodge. Abueva asking for it. They could not send the ball to the beast. Gio. Again, it looks out of control. And then at the last moment, he finds a way to score.
I mean, he's not that tall, right? But very strong is Gio Halalo. And he's been doing it ever since his college career, shooting over much bigger guys. He's been with Gilas as well. And so very effective is his game. And you like how the tenacity that he shows.
Calvin Abueva committing his fourth personal foul as well. But at this stage of the third quarter, it's not too bad for Calvin, who will join Chris Newsome and Ian Sangalang, all with 4 personal fouls. Mac Bello has led the offense for the Meralco Bolts here in the third period.
Mac Bello now with 11 points and 4 rebounds in the ball game in 13 minutes of action.
9 here in the third quarter. But sometimes that's all Coach Norm Black needs from his bench players, just a spurt.
And usually, historically, if you look at Meralco, the quarter that seems like they struggle with, if my memory serves me right, is the third quarter. Miscommunication.
Yep, just a careless turnover coming from the Magnolia Hotshots. Di nakaintindihan sila Rafi Rivas, the team captain, and Gio Halalon. And it will give Meralco another crack at the basket before we end the third quarter. This could be a momentum turner of sorts, Dom.
Definitely, that's something that Meralco wants to be able to do. And they keep knocking, they keep knocking. Key for Meralco is not to get left behind, right? No double-digit leads.
Cliff Hodge to beat the buzzer, that's short. Some good defensive stand coming from the Magnolia Hotshots, making sure that they will not pay for that mistake they committed after 3 intense quarters of highly tactical defense between Coach Chito Victorero and Coach Norman Black. It will still be the Magnolia Hotshots holding a slim lead against the Meralco Bulls. The score is 71-66 heading into the fourth and final quarter of action. The Meralco Bolts threatened to storm their way back into the contest in the third quarter, thanks largely to the efforts of Mac Bello. 13 in total, 10 in the third, with a couple of three-point shots.
You gotta love how Mac Bello coming off the bench, helping his team, and we kept talking about him being or adding the depth to the Meralco Bolts and doing just that, especially in the third quarter. Very efficient for Bello, playing what, 15 minutes in total?
Good performance so far coming from Bello, above his average in scoring right now, and we still have a full quarter left to play. Maraming salamat po ulit sa inyong pagsama sa amin sa PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Dominic Uy on the call. A foul whistled against Paul Lee to open the final quarter of this ball game.
Paul Lee, that's his fourth foul. First team foul for the Hotshots.
So that's 4 on Paul Lee, that's 4 on Ian Sangalang, that's 4 on Calvin Abueva.
Mark Baroka entering the contest for Jeric Ahanmisi, and Rom De La Rosa quickly replacing Paul Lee with his fourth. And speaking of players with 4 personal fouls, Chris Newsome back in the ball game early in the fourth for Coach Norman Black.
A good move by Coach Norman Black because Newsome hasn't really gotten his game going.
Yep. Oh, open. Mac Bello for 3, he misses. But Aaron Black gets the ball back for Meralco. Pasaol wants to go to Bello. Kick out pass to Newsome. Fakes the pass. Dribbles in closer. Newsome fakes, patient move, scores with the layup.
7 points now for Chris Newsome. Prior to that, minus 11 in terms of efficiency for Chris Newsome.
71-68. Tatlo na lang ang hinahabol ng Meralco Bulls. We still have a long way to go. 11 and change left in this fourth period. Gio Halalo, the layup, a sneaky one, won't work. Loose ball foul drawn by Rafi Rivas.
You really need to be able to box out Rafi Rivas because he's so long. Even if he's out of position, he can get a hand on that basketball and tap it to a teammate, or actually still get it.
Sangalang with 4 also to replace Rafi Rivas. Aris Jonisho returns to the floor. Jonisho, the sophomore, being given an opportunity here. That's the zone offense coming from Magnolia. Jackson Corpus, again, yung problema ng Meralco Bulls, offensive rebounding allowed for Magnolia.
And that's something that you really just need to put a stop on if you're Meralco, because you're giving up second opportunity, second chance points. And that time, again, converting are the Hotshots with Jackson Corpus. 6 points in the ball game for him.
Jackson Corpus, however, could not complete the end one play. 73-68, still enough for a 5-point Magnolia lead.
11 offensive rebounds for the Hotshots.
Aaron Black attacks baseline. Good strong drive coming from the sophomore.
Funny, right? It's only his second conference, but he's already his second year. So if you look at the rookies of last year and the rookies of this year, depending on what will happen, it's kind of a shortened rookie year.
It's technically your second year, pero sobrang konti lang na nilaro mong games, di ba? Oh, good pass coming from Mark Baroka.
on a regular year, you'd play at least 33
Yep.
games. But instead of 33, maybe just 11, right?
A little bit more for Aaron Black, as Meralco did well in that PBA bubble. But you can just sense that Ian Sangalang is not operating at 100%. I mean, don't know if there's an injury, don't know if it's just mental or the rust coming back from a month off.
I think it's the rust. I think he's not 100% sharp yet. That's something he will work on and will play himself in shape.
Oh, Mark Barroco with a veteran move there and a smart forward pass as well to Rome De La Rosa for the touchdown.
You got to be able to hold on to that basketball if you're Aaron Black against Mark Barroca.
I don't know how tenacious a defender Mark Barroca is. Newsom defended by De La Rosa. Chris goes to Pasaol. Shot lock reads 10 for the Meralco Bolts. Pasaol. Nice short pass to Macbelo, who scores again.
Making himself available. You can see he's not trying to create his own shot, just getting in the flow of the offense.
Also sense the IQ, the smarts nitong si Alvin Pasaol, no, making plays, making passes like that. Ian Sangalang, can he get himself going here in the fourth quarter? He will take two. And sometimes that is exactly what you need to gain your confidence.
Only the second personal foul of Raymond Almazan. You want really Raymond Almazan to play like how he did when he was playing for Rain or Shine, knocking down threes, playing 20, 25 minutes, staying out of foul trouble.
First one gets the friendly roll for Almazan. Short stint for Aris Dionisio, as Jeric Ahanmisi is back in the ball game. Split for Sangalang leaves their advantage at 4, 76-72. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Pasaol. His fast tap and stolen by Abueva.
You can see they know exactly what they would do if Pasaol would get that ball down low, helping out their teammate and getting that steal, then that stop.
Calvin Abueva out of control there. Luckily for him, the ball will stay on their side with 17 seconds to shoot. As we are just about ready to get our first timeout of the fourth quarter. The score is 76 for Magnolia, 72 for the Meralco Bolts, as this timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. This is a toss-up at the top. TNT Tropang Giga on top right now, but their record is similar to the Magnolia Hotshots, both undefeated, 4-0. Meralco Bolts right behind them at 5-1. And kanina nga po, the Terra Firma Jeep upsetting the San Miguel Beermen in overtime. What a performance from Buami Chongson. Even without Joshua Munzon, even without Roosevelt Adams, Terra Firma scoring an overtime win against the Beermen.
Remember, before those two guys came to Terra Firma, who was jacking it up for Terra Firma? It was Wami Chongson.
So Ian Sangalang, yung mga tira niya hindi nahuhulog. Maybe this will get himself going. A tip in of an offensive rebound, extending their advantage to 6.
And it's really frustrating if your shots are not going in, plus you're fouling, you get into foul trouble. There's just no way to get into a rhythm.
Nard Pinto continues to struggle. He is 0 of 6 from the field. Has yet to score in this ball game. Abueva hands it off to Barroca. Behind the back pass, Abueva fakes the shot. Wanted to drive in closer. Foul is drawn by Calvin. This one whistled against Bello. Oh! Looks like it was actually Almazan who tipped that in. Pati yung basket na napunta kay Ian Sanggalang, hindi nanggaling sa kanya.
But if you're in Sanggalang, you'll take it.
Of course. Oh, good drive coming from Mark Barroca. Explosion of speed on the way to the basket. 8-point lead for the Hotshots.
That's the thing. When you talk about depth, talk definitely the Magnolia Hotshots. They have it. Both in, especially in the guard position.
Alain Maliksi has been quiet here in the second half. Mac Bello goes to the turnaround. Bello, emergency shot, comes up with nothing. Shot clock violation.
Solid defense that time by Calvin Abueva on Mac Bello. You know, great matchup for an Abueva matchup, but also a great matchup Abueva versus Cliff Hodge.
Yep, for sure. And there are a lot of similarities between these two teams, and even how, you know, coaches Chito Victolero and Norman Black formed their materials for these two squads, as Mark Barroca comes up empty with a banker.
That's a tough call for Nards Pinto.
Did Barroca get to his spot? Oh, there was a push-off. From that angle,
Very
mas
easy to
kita
call.
ng referee. Yeah.
Very easy to call.
Hindi natin kita from the original angle yung extension ng arm.
Exactly.
Only one team foul in this fourth quarter for the Magnolia Hotshots. Good pressure coming from Alain Maliksi. Knew that he wanted to test the rookie.
Putting some pressure and knew he was going to do that crossover, getting that hand, and the turnover.
So nakabawi, turnover, and then forcing a turnover. Ball is back with the Bolts. Alain Maliksi, can he get himself going? The short jumper won't work. Rebound for Barroca. Barroca attacks, explodes, misses. But look who gets the ball back and finally gets a basket.
Clearly, that was his 2 points.
100% his. Oh, tough take there. Coming from Quinto, as a timeout is requested by Calvin Abueva. He was in traffic as he grabbed the rebound. He was also losing his footing, so it was a smart decision coming from the Beast.
There was 3 Meralco balls against just Calvin Abueva.
Pero hawak niya yung bola. He was given the timeout. 10-point advantage for the Magnolia Hotshots.
So in the last 2 minutes and 16, Magnolia score on a 6-0 run against the Meralco Bolts.
30-second timeout, Magnolia.
And that's the thing, no, Dom. Multiple attempts for Meralco to come back in this ball game. Nakakalapit, just down by 2, down by 3, but somehow, some way, Magnolia finds a way to rebuild their lead, and now it's back to 10.
And that's what the thing that we kept talking about. Do not give up those offensive rebounds. But let's look at the tournament format first. Each team will play 11 games. Top 8 teams will qualify. The top 4 teams get a twice-to-beat advantage. And top 2 teams, rather, will get a twice-to-beat advantage against 7 and 8. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, that's best of 3. And then in the semifinals, it's a best of 7 and also a best of 7 in the finals. So that's why all 12 teams are trying to gun for the top 2 spots so that you have that twice-to-beat advantage.
And you want to win by as many points as you can to help you with that PBA quotient because you never know how it will come in.
And we've seen it in basically every conference that the quotient plays a big part in terms of seeding and who you will go up against in the quarterfinals.
That's correct. So you want to help yourself as much as you can. Layup will work. Rome De La Rosa with a layup.
Off that timeout, 2 points once again for the Hotshots. Now this is the time that Chris Newsom has to assert himself a little bit more, try to get his points on the board.
Dom, in the PBA bubble, we had a 7-4 tie from number 3 TNT up until number 7 Magnolia. 3-7 PBA quotient.
So 5 teams with the same record.
Yep. Here's Newsom to beat the buzzer. Does not get the bounce. Hodge gets the offensive rebound and the putback.
Look at Calvin Abueva. Abueva's what? 6'2", 6'3" maximum, but plays like he's 6'7".
Yung issue pa nung PBA bubble Dom was top 4 yung twice to beat. It was really a struggle as Rome De La Rosa gets his offense going. He's not really, known for his offense. He is more of a glue guy, a three-point specialist from the corner, a defender for Coach Chito Victorero. But now, push comes to shove, his team needs him to score. He is providing them with the points. 86-74 is the score in favor of the Magnolia Hotshots. Rome De La Rosa with back-to-back buckets, crucial to the cause for the Magnolia Hotshots. First one was all him, the second one off a pretty pass coming from Mark Barroca. 8 points, 5 rebounds para kay Rome, as the advantage of Magnolia is now at 12.
And he's really the best defender at the 3 spot for the Magnolia Hotshots, and that's why he always starts, and he's usually always the one defending the best backcourt player of the opposing team.
Pag Governor's Cup pa nga Dom, import pa yung dinidepensa ni Rome De La Rosa. That just speaks volumes of the trust na meron between coach and player, as Aaron Black draws a foul for 2 free throws.
Remember that quarter, the third one went to the Meralco Bulls 27-21. But so far in the fourth, Magnolia already scoring 15, Meralco only with 6. Only with 8 rather.
But still, 5 minutes and 6 seconds, enough to overcome a dozen-point lead, especially with Aaron Black on the line right now. That certainly will not help. Free throws were a huge advantage para sa Meralco Bolts in the first half, Dom. What's the story now?
20-24. 20 of 24 for the Meralco Bolts, so that's still solid.
Yeah.
That's very solid number right there. Pero nakahabol na rin yung Magnolia, 15 of 20.
Kanina in the early goings, it was 13-0, right, Dom?
Definitely all of the points of the Meralco Bolts coming from that free throw line. And they were spotless.
Magnolia protecting this double-digit advantage. Molly against Alain Maliksi one-on-one. Screen comes. Hard show. Polly for 3. No good. Rebound Hugnatan. Quickly forward now to Hodge. They go to the corner. Maliksi momentarily open, but he was bothered just enough with the presence of Barroca.
And you like the patience. I mean, if you're Meralco, And then you end up with a 3-point shot by Aaron Black. You know, you haven't really been shooting well from the 3-point area. 4 of 25 prior to that shot.
Finally, some offense coming from Aaron Black. 6 points in total, only his second field goal.
That's going to be a foul on Paul Lee, saying that he extended his arms off that screen.
The additional complication is that is the 5th personal foul of Paul Lee.
But you got to appreciate that. Paul Lee really trying to give a solid pick. Usually he's the recipient of those picks from the bigs.
Chris Newsom is a step-back jumper as Abueva skies for the board. Gets entangled with Cliff Hodge, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Mark Barroca, make sure na sulit yung lahat ng pinagpaguran ni Calvin Abueva with that basket.
And you're just waiting for Abueva and Cliff Hodge again. You know, they're pretty much stuck to each other.
Reynal Hugnatan missing. And there's, nagkakainitan na si Calvin Abueva and si Cliff Hodge. It's been, you know, for most of this game, it has been gentlemanly. But now there's been extra shoving and pushing between the two.
And there's a lot more hands entangling.
Yep.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
That, I believe, is the 5th personal foul of Calvin Abueva. Still have 3 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in this ball game.
Abueva, 17 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Chris Newsom picks up his dribble. Short jumper is good. Specialty of the house for Newsom.
Really got to be able to put points on the board for Chris Newsom. He's the point of attack right now.
He's been struggling with this offense. Only 9 points in the ball game so far for him. Paul Lee for 3. That's good.
On one end, you get 2 points, but then Magnolia returns with a Paul Lee 3. Perfectly executed play.
Paul Lee with 21 points in the ball game. That is his 5th 3-point conversion, 30%. Alain Maliksi could not get it back. Paul Lee with a rebound. The lethal weapon with a pass forward to Calvin Abueva, picked up, stolen. But Newsom loses control as the ball will stay with Magnolia.
And look at that, Paul Lee and Calvin Abueva talking to each other. Both of them saying, no, my mistake. No, my mistake.
You love to see it.
Yes. And that's one of the things that Coach Chito Victolero really preaches, right? The camaraderie, the chemistry amongst his players.
Volley goes to Ian Sangalang down low, overshoots the mark. As Meralco goes on the offensive once again. Newsom almost lost his footing. It will stay with Meralco, 17 the shot clock. Make that 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter.
Credit that defense of Hugnatan on Sangalang. He knows that Sangalang likes to bump you first, feel the contact before he goes for the shot. So Hugnatan not allowing that.
Yun yung pangsukat ni Ian eh.
Oo, babanggain ka muna. And there are a lot of players that get yung buwelo dun sa bangga. You know, a lot of players will be able to try to get you off balance, but they're so strong. They like that, which gets them a much better shot. But if they're not able to bump you and feel somebody, then naiilang yung mga player. Struggling really is Chris Newsom. You can see that Meralco really trying to go exclusively now to Chris Newsom and try to create and look for his shot.
The shots are not falling for him though. 11-point lead for Magnolia as we approach the final 2 minutes of this ball game. Paul Lee, good pass. Ian Sangalang fakes, hammered.
Credit. If he makes his free throws, credit half of that to Paul Lee. Remember that game-winning play? Pretty much the same thing. Paul Lee to Ian Sangalang down low.
Right. Nasa bokang konti nitong si Cliff Hodge, si Ian Sangalang. Ian scores on the first free throw. But Paulie will get his assist before he heads to the bench.
Paulie, 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists.
But you just feel that he should have gotten credit for so much more in terms of assists, because he was a big part of a lot of the things that happened for the Magnolia Hotshots. Still, I'm sure he doesn't mind. His team leads by 13, 93-80, heading into this timeout. The lethal weapon, Paul Lee, took full advantage of the lull in the action, recovered from a hamstring injury, and it looks like he is better than where he was before, the PBA stopped playing.
Remember, we showed at the beginning of the coverage, he averages, 16 points a ball game.
Mhm.
And today, he's got more than that.
Mhm.
He's able to get those assists. And in timely manner when he gets his points. That's the beauty of it. Not just the points, but even the assists. And looks like the Magnolia Hotshots are on their way for their 5th straight win.
And he was shooting, I think, worse than 25% from the field. Now at 7 of 14, 50% from 2, and 50% from deep as well. Macbelo.
This is a play that they've been going to.
Yeah.
They try to post up Alvin Pasaol. And then when the defense collapses, they have Macbelo just waiting there on the wings for that 3.
Certainly a welcome sign para sa Meralco Bolts, seeing Macbelo getting his 3-point shots. Still down by 10 though. Teka, offensive goaltending dapat yan, di ba?
So this time the referees can review that.
Less than 2 minutes?
Yep.
Is that? Yeah, I believe goaltending is a reviewable call. Sabi ni Ian, calm naman. Kanina pa ako nagpapagod eh. Pero these things happen, you know? I mean, Calvin Abueva jumped.
Yep.
He was iffy about his landing. Tumalon siya eh. So, he wanted to hang on to something.
Oh, he was going that just in case Ian Sangalang would miss.
Mhm.
And his probably retort to that was, Ian, kanina ka pa mintis na mintis eh.
Could you blame me? I'm sure they would find it funny after, if they pick up this victory, you know, but
Keeps the door open
Yep.
for Meralco.
as Macbelo continues to shoot from the outside, missing this one though.
It's
10-point lead.
It's interesting, right? When they make a call, and both teams will point to their way,
Uh-huh.
right? And once the referees say, okay, review, then everybody keeps quiet.
Tapos lahat sila 100% sure that they had the
Yes.
cover.
It looks like Ian Sangalang may have had a hand on that basketball.
And that is indeed the correct call. It will stay with the Meralco Bolts. 70 seconds remaining. Pasa all top of the key. 3, that's good.
Keeping the door open for the Meralco Bulls. And that's why they drafted this guy, Alvin Pasaol. He's a guy that, doesn't matter how long he's playing, he's there ready to score, likes to score.
He has not scored a single point in this matchup. And then he makes a crucial 3-point shot. That's just the level of confidence that Alvin Pasaol has in himself.
Remember, this guy scored, 50 points?
In the UAAP, that's correct. We're heading to a timeout. 7-point lead for Magnolia. Meralco Bolts with 3-point conversions coming from Macbelo and Alvin Pasaol have given themselves a shot at a comeback. Even if the clock doesn't favor them right now, it's still a possibility for Meralco.
Definitely doable still for the Meralco Bolts. So now they've got to apply the pressure and try to force a turnover.
Rom De La Rosa, the inbounder, wants to go to Paul Lee. Oh, turnover! And just like that, Macbelo inches Meralco closer, only down by 5 now.
Well, you want the ball in the hands of Paul Lee.
Almost another turnover. Abueva recovers. Paul Lee runs into Chris Newsome.
That's going to be a review. Well, that's really something that you don't want to do. Give a bounce pass when people are pressuring like that. You want to be able to give a solid pass, chest pass, so that it's quicker to get to your teammate.
Good double team here. And then this looks like that one of Newsome.
Well, Newsome got his hands on that basketball right away. Referee is right away pointing to the review just to make sure they get the right call.
After the ball possession goes to Magnolia.
Paulie knew it, no? After the contact, he knew that he did not touch that ball. It was Newsome who knocked it loose.
It was a good swipe.
Problem for Meralco is they're in penalty, so you cannot afford to give up fouls at this stage.
That's a foul on Newsome. Is that number 5?
Chris Newsome penalty. That's his 5th personal foul.
Would you have wanted them to give up a foul at this stage, though?
Well, I mean, with the way Calvin Abueva was going, all right, maybe you could have just slowed him down and let the defense recover.
Calvin Abueva converts on the first free throw. This one to make it a 3-possession ball game. Again, leaving the door open for a Meralco comeback. Aaron Black rushing down court. The 3-point shot won't work. Macbelo is there! Almost gets an N1 opportunity, but at least he will get 2 free throws.
I was surprised Aaron Black just pulled the trigger on that one. Thought they were going to go to Pasaol again.
That's the first team foul of Magnolia. Not the last 2 minutes.
Calvin Abueva with that foul, fouls out. Big night for Abueva.
Shooting 2.
In 35 minutes of action, Calvin Abueva with 18 points and 14 rebounds.
Not the first time that he has fouled out as a member of Magnolia Hotshots.
He wants to keep his record spotless. He's 4-0 with Magnolia.
.22 points for Macbelo. Impressive outing coming from him. Balik dun sa pressure defense. Oh, poor spacing coming from Magnolia. You never want to see both your guards crossing paths like that in Halalon and Baroka. And quickly, Paul Lee converges with his fellow point guards to address that situation after this timeout. This is the toss-up at the top, and the Magnolia Hotshots want to be alone at the top after this contest. Want to pick up their 5th straight victory, stay undefeated, stay on top of the rankings, but they will have to hang on as the Meralco Bolts have been challenging them in the past couple of minutes, staying alive in this matchup. 42.5 seconds remaining, 4-point lead only for the Hotshots.
And this is that pressure, that backcourt pressure that Meralco has been successful
Steal
here in the fourth quarter.
It was almost like Gio was expecting a foul to be called. Hodge goes to Newsome for 3. That's good!
Almost a turnover by Chris Newsome, recovering with a 3-point shot.
Only a 1-point game now in favor of the Magnolia Hotshots. Still enough time for Meralco to get the ball back. No need to foul.
Magnolia was up by 13 at the 2-minute mark.
Paulie having trouble. Halalon with 3 seconds remaining. They go to the corner. Barroca, did he release it in time? Did he shoot it in time? That's the question.
That's going to be key. However, the referees will review that.
It is reviewable. So we will take another look at it. 1 second, 1.2 when he received it, faked it, gathered, put it up. Oh, it won't count.
Will not count. So there will be what, 2-point?
No, it's a shot clock violation, so it might be about 4 seconds.
They could adjust the clock. Yeah, you're right.
Look at this, Dom. It looked like the Meralco Bolts were dead in the water, and then all of a sudden...
Well, Carlo, we talked about it. At the 2-minute mark, Magnolia was up by 13 points, 93-80. So Magnolia has only scored 1 point in the last 2 minutes.
And now you start thinking of that offensive interference coming from Calvin Abueva. It could have been additional 2 points.
And that could have been basically the end of the game already.
That's true.
Could have put that this ball game away. But now, defensively, we know both teams, this is what they pride themselves with. Defensively, 1 stop needed by the Magnolia Hotshots.
Dom, they also adjusted the clock, again, because it was a shot clock violation. Meralco Bolts will have a little bit more time, about 4 seconds to score and steal this win from the Magnolia Hotshots.
Well, it'll all start from the inbounds. We know that so far Meralco has been doing such a good job of defending off that inbounds. Now the question is, will Magnolia do the same against Meralco and walk out with this win, or will Meralco be able to get a shot up?
No timeouts, no fouls to give, so ladies and gents,
Honest defense.
this is it.
Honest defense. And look at the trust that Coach Norman Black is giving to Alvin Pasol, the rookie, keeping him inside in this crucial stage of the ball game.
The inbounder will be Mac Bello.
And this is going to be tough, trying to inbound that basketball against Rafi Rivas.
4.3 seconds remaining. Here we go. Delay of game taken by Rafi Rivas to see who goes where in the offense for the Meralco Bolts.
Because there are no timeouts left, that's very well executed by the Hotshots, trying to see where that play will go, because Meralco cannot call another timeout and try to draw up that play once again.
Game on the line. Chris Newsome against De La Rosa. Newsome goes behind the back. Newsome for the win. That's good!
Nobody helping out on Chris Newsome. Wow, what a big turnaround by the Meralco Bolts. That is 14 or 15 points in 2 minutes.
Look at this play. Newsome. Did he get it off in time? Yes, he did! The Meralco Bolts complete the epic comeback against the Magnolia Hotshots. They deal the first loss loss of the conference to Magnolia and win their 5th game. An outstanding comeback from Meralco.
And Carlo, right from the start, Magnolia had a very good start, 7-0, but you never saw Meralco panic. You never saw them throw in the towel. You saw them, they kept on plugging away. They kept on, they were missing their shots. They were making free throws. They were missing their shots. They were getting offensive rebounds. Macbello coming in the 3rd quarter, getting his points. But in the 4th quarter, Chris Newsom came alive and was able to get his points and get the win.
But our next level player of the game is Cliff Hodge, 18 points and 11 rebounds. It's brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. He helped them get into that spot that allowed them to get the chance to score that comeback.
Oh, we mentioned Macbello in the 3rd quarter. We mentioned Chris Newsom in the 4th. But Cliff Hodge was pretty much consistent all throughout the 4 quarters.
We will be talking to our winning coach and our best player of the game when we come back from this break.
What was your
mindset? Was just we've been off for 2 weeks. We knew it was going to be a tough team. They're number 1 in the standings, so we just wanted to come out, be aggressive, and do whatever it took to get a win. Because we know we got 2 more games coming up. We had to make sure we get the first one.
What do you think is the key? What's the key that you were able to win the game?
Never give up. I mean, we were down a lot. We just stuck to the game plan. And we made some shots, some big shots. New played outstanding in the 4th quarter, and we got some lucky turnovers, lucky bounces, and we'll take the win.
Coach, your thoughts on the game?
I really didn't know how we would play tonight because we've been off for 4 weeks, and everything was rushed this week as far as practice was concerned. We really didn't get a lot of practice in. I didn't think we got a lot of good practice. I really didn't know how we would play tonight because we've been off for 4 weeks, and everything was rushed this week as far. Yes, I didn't really know how we would play tonight, but at the same time, I'm really happy for the guys. They never gave up. We struggled the entire game. We got dominated on the boards tonight as far as the rebounds are concerned, and we just hung in there, made some big plays down the stretch. With the pressure defense, forcing some steals, and it led to this victory. So it's a victory where the team really showed a lot of guts.
Question from Ray Hoble.
With the pressure defense,
Coach,
forcing some steals,
games
and it led
like
to this
this are
victory.
hard to come by, Coach.
It's a victory where the team really showed a lot of guts.
How would you put it as one of your most
Question
one
from
of
Ray
the most
Hoble.
memorable wins you had, Coach?
Ray,
Games like this are hard.
Can't hear. I can't
Can
hear
you
him.
repeat the question, Sir Ray?
One of the most memorable wins you had, Coach.
Did
Coach,
you
you had
ask me
the
if it's been one of the most memorable wins? It was a big win because we seemed to be a little bit dead in the water tonight. We weren't moving well. We weren't jumping well. We weren't shooting the ball well. But somehow we just hung in there, kept playing defense. The defense held up for us in the 4th quarter. The guys started to make their shots, and let's face it, that was a huge shot by Chris Newsom when he drove to the basket to win the game. So he's normally our closer, and he just made another game-winning shot for us.
That's it, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Can we take the Gatorade?
I think so.
Good job, Cliff.
Yeah, man.
These game highlights are brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. And we got the tail end of the statement coming from Coach Norman Black as he was talking to Cliff Hodge.
Get the Gatorade.
No, he said, I don't have a clue how we won this ball game.
Well, I mean, it was character,
Yeah.
right? It was about not giving up. This Meralco team is a team that grinds it out. It's a team that does not give up. And these are the things that, has definitely built their character. Remember, Carlo, they've gotten to the finals a number of times. And they haven't won yet, so they're hungry.
But for this entire ball game, Dom, it just felt like Magnolia was in control. Yes, Meralco had their moments, but every time they made a run, Magnolia had a counter.
They had an answer every single time. And usually the answer was Paul Lee. He was able to score 3-point shots, he was able to get to the basket, or be part of the play and get an assist to his teammates. But Meralco not giving up. Again, they were just there, keeping it close, even if they were down 8, kept playing, down 11, kept playing. In the third quarter, this is where Meralco made a run. This was a 27-point quarter for the Bolts, led by Mac Bello. He came alive in this quarter, and really, after this, you could feel that Meralco, a little bit more of a rhythm that happened for them. You could see that they were a little bit out of sync still, but just a 5-point lead after 36 minutes. So Meralco now starting to churn. But in the fourth, this is where again Magnolia was able to push that lead, the lead as high as 13 points in the last 2 minutes. But Meralco still not giving up. This is that big 3-point shot by Chris Newsom. Chris Newsom ended up with 14 points in the ball game, 9 coming in the fourth quarter.
And that was the big call. And it was the correct call after the replay. The 3-point shot did not count. So the good challenge coming from Alvin Pasaol allowed, the shot clock to expire.
Yes.
And
Able
then
to
more importantly for Meralco, gave them additional time to be able to score on the other side. 4 seconds was a lot of time to work with for Chris Newsom to score this lefty layup to win the ball game.
We talked about Chris Newsom needing to come to play, needing his scoring, and he did just that in the end, in the fourth quarter. Like I said, 9 points for Chris Newsom in the fourth quarter, 7 in the last 2 minutes. So what a big turnaround by the Meralco Bolts. 15 points in 2 minutes.
Character building win for the Meralco Bolts. Chris Newsom had a game winner inside the PBA bubble. He adds another game winner here in our semi-bubble. He just likes the moment. He is the big shot maker for the Meralco Bolts, and he rescues them from a defeat. They pick up the win 95-94 as we take a look at our schedule tomorrow, Thursday still. The Dovsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga, the NLEX Road Warriors going up against the Alaska Aces at 2 p.m. And then the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters will face off against the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters for the main game. For Dominic Uy, I'm Carlo Pamintuan. We thank you for watching PBA Rush. See you again tomorrow for more PBA action.